without further ado, we about to get in this. Once again, we want to welcome everybody that's coming into the spot. We
Right.
appreciate you. We love you. Later on here, we're going to go ahead and post if you want to comment and chime in like a lot of folks like to do. We'll be posting that a little bit later so you can go ahead and chime in. So let's get started.
Absolutely.
All right, fam.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah. So here's the thing. On I believe it was Friday. I was at work, everything, I'm doing my thing, and I start getting notices that Dave Chappelle's got a new special out.
Mm.
Special. Like, how you gonna do a special and you can't even have a crowd? So but I started seeing clips of it, started to see people giving like quick little, like the quick hits and quick reviews on it. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is definitely something I gotta watch.
Right.
So Dave Chappelle dropped a special uh,
Mm.
filmed on June 6th, right in the middle of the lockdown and the pandemic. It was
Yeah.
very interesting how he did that. Maybe we need to talk about so we can explain to people how he actually did it. But he
Mm-hmm.
filmed
Mm-hmm.
a special on June 6th. It's called 8:46, 8 minutes 46 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's virtually all about George Floyd and all about everything that's been happening with Black Lives Matter, with police brutality.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave the whole rundown, man. And I'm trying to tell you, if you have not seen it, people, it's free. You don't even have to be a Netflix subscriber. You can go right to YouTube, type in
Mm-hmm.
846. It's right there. 17 million views already in about 48 hours. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at because we're gonna play a little clip from it. Right now the views, because I pulled it off. I mean, I have Netflix, but I pulled it off YouTube just to let folks know it's number 4 trending on YouTube right now, and it's at over 18 mil right
Right.
now, 18 million. And so going ahead, man. I mean that just looking at his body and just the vigor that's coming out, you can just see the emotion and just the it's. I'll let you go and speak on it. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
his body alone. It's telling, without even saying anything. Just his body is just telling.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is this. This is I don't know if people really are really taking a step back and looking at what's happening right here. We talked about this, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, when we talked about how the police can only police the society with society's permission. And because of the bullshit, we've decided either in the short term or perhaps in the long term, that
Mm-hmm.
that permission has been revoked, at least for a while, right?
Right. Right.
And that
Right.
now the streets came out in force, and it's too many for you to police at this point when the street stands up to you like that.
Right.
And I think that what he talked about in this special was a lot of like what led up to all the kindling that led up to that final match, setting the whole thing on fire. And I
Right.
think that was it was crucial, man. 846 is crucial. But the thing that's very important about 846 is this.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, everybody wants basketball to come back. People want something to kind of distract you from the reality of what's happening out here.
Right.
That you got COVID-19, that you got
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, an economic collapse damn near the size of the Great Depression, and then on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, now you got the streets on fire due to the people just being sick of police brutality, and it's all races out there getting it in right now.
Right.
So in the midst of all that, everybody's like, man, I just, a lot of people, they're just like, I want some comedy. I want to see some basketball. I want
Right.
to watch some NASCAR. Like, they're just
Yeah.
looking for an escape.
Something.
You know what? This is a transformational time in American history. Our kids and our grandkids are going to be looking, when they're looking at the history books, they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
talking about this time,
This. That's right.
right?
That's right.
And maybe it's not time to be laughing. Maybe there isn't very much to be funny right now.
Right.
And I think in this special, when you would normally expect a comedian to tell jokes, for 27 minutes. Was it 4 jokes?
It was a couple. He even came out and said, "Hey, I got some P jokes if y'all need
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
need it." But he brought he really brought the heat, and especially when he was saying, I'm not gonna play it, but when he was saying that, folks wanted me to come out and look, the streets, as our man Star
mm,
says, streets got to eat.
streets
And
don't
right,
eat.
streets got to eat, and you know what? The streets have been starving, and
Hmm.
it's like they at hometown buffet right now. And the
Right,
streets are eating, but
right,
there's a reason why, because the streets are eating, and he
right,
and he breaks that down. And when he said at the end, it wasn't just this one; it's everything.
right,
It's like I
right,
said, you only gonna whoop on somebody for so long till they finally like trick it. I throw it,
right,
I throw it all away. I throw it
right,
all away, and
right,
it just we finna get in it, and whatever happens, happens. And
right,
so it's not like just one thing happened and just popped off. It's just like, okay, this is it. This is all
right,
we can take. This is all we
right.
can take.
And the beauty of this special is that, as Dave Chappelle is known to do, he
Mm-hmm.
took aim at people and he named names. He
Woo!
named names.
Woo! Can we?
Um,
Who you want to go? I mean,
let's start with Laura Ingram because I thought it was
I
very telling.
man, I went in on Laura Ingram a couple weeks ago. You remember?
Yes, you did. Yep.
Yes, I went on that. I
Laura
went
Ingram.
on that.
Laura Ingram. So he starts telling the story about, because I don't know if people know, but Dave Chappelle, this special was filmed at his farm.
At his
He owns a
property.
farm. He
Yes,
owns a
property.
farm in Ohio, right?
Hmm.
Out in rural Ohio, way the hell out from,
Ton,
from the city and everything.
tons of
He bought
property.
himself some land and he's doing it big out there.
Yeah,
And he basically has his own amphitheater on his property.
yeah.
And that's where he filmed the special. So I
Hmm.
thought it was dope.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
And but as far as, because he's an Ohio resident, he was talking about how Lauren Ingram told a guy like LeBron James, who's done everything, as exceeded everybody's expectations, had
Hmm.
all this pressure on him the whole time, got it done, more than what anybody expected from him,
Right.
and that he's a great person, father, parent, all of that. And this
Philanthropist,
lady,
all that. Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
here, this woman who I believe he said she's not great at anything. I believe he
No,
said.
no, that's what she said. That's what he said. That's what he said. She's not great at anything.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe he said she's a average white bitch with a platform. I believe was the exact
Yeah,
quote.
you know what? It's probably around those lines, but basically, yeah, because he
Yeah,
explained about the word bitch when he
right,
broke that down.
right.
So it
Well,
is what it is.
I believe he called her a couple more things, but
Yeah,
we,
he
we,
did.
we,
We
you
don't
can
need.
watch it yourself and you can find out all the rest of that. You know what I'm saying? But the
Ah,
key of it was this, that she told LeBron James when he wanted to speak that he should shut up and dribble, you know.
mm-hmm,
And yet here we are in this situation.
mm-hmm.
Like you said last week, I believe,
It
she
was.
didn't tell Drew Brees drop back and drip, saying
No, he's like,
shut up and drop
oh,
back or
no,
whatever. You know
no,
what I'm
you got,
saying?
he's got the right to say that. That's what he said. He can talk about that. I said, you just showed your white supremacist
Yeah.
hood,
Oh yeah.
whatever you want. You
Absolutely.
just straight up, straight
Absolutely.
up, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
So he definitely. I mean, he ripped her a new one, which I truly appreciate, because so many black men get on television and they're scared to say any kind of cross word
oh yeah,
towards a woman, regardless of what she's done. And to be honest with you, she's got a track record where she been deserving this for a long
long
time,
time.
player.
Yeah.
Long
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah. She deserved that smoke and then some. Throw her on the
Yeah,
barbecue.
absolutely.
She's done. Who else? I wouldn't say that he went in. It was more kind of funny when
Hmm.
he got about Don Lemon, because
Yeah,
when
yeah,
Don Lemon, because he was calling everybody out, he said, I was oh, I wish that nigga would say my name. He was like, he
Well,
better not say my name.
reset it for him so they know exactly how it even came up.
Right, because if Don Lemon, what happened once everything, I forgot, it was like about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, Don Lemon on his show basically it called out like stars and individuals. He's like, I'm not seeing you. Where are you? And so he was naming individuals like Oprah,
Right.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he started naming quite a few individuals. He's like, where you at? I haven't seen you. I haven't heard from you. People, we need to see you. And so it was funny because after he even called out from Blackish,
Yeah.
what's his name?
From Blackish, Dion Cole.
No, from Blackish, the show. Anyways,
Oh, Anthony.
Anthony, yes,
Yeah.
called Anthony out. All them. He's like, hey, I haven't seen you. And it was funny. Then a couple days later, you start seeing cats pop up or whatnot and everything.
Right.
So now moving forward, Dave is seeing this. And he's saying, I wish he better not say my name. Because then he was saying, he said, don't you watch my shows? He says, I've been talking about this for years, you know,
True.
and I will give the three comedians, I would say outside of Dave, that's been talking about this for years, is DL and Chris Rock.
Right.
Chris been talking about this since back in the 90s. What are you talking about? Right. So, you know, this ain't nothing new. This is not Johnny come lately, anything like that. So that's basically where that was at and where that came in. And so he called out Don Lemon, but it was more so kind of like, hey, you know, you calling everybody out, better not say my name. And then, oh my gosh, he just went in on Candace Owens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deserving.
More than deserving. More than deserving. You know, and just I mean, once again, we don't want to really just give it all up, because if you haven't seen it, we really want you to see it. And just like I said, you go on YouTube, look at it right now if you don't have Netflix, and go and see it. It's only 20, like I said, it's only 27 minutes. It's quick.
Right.
It's quick. In and out.
Right.
And so he went up, did his thing, said what he had to say, dropped the mic like he usually does, and like, I'm out. And so Dave, being, you know, a lot of comedians even say that he's the greatest comedian alive right now. And that comes from a plethora. I mean, that comes from a plethora of, I'm just telling you, that comes from a plethora of comedians that are out there saying that right now he's the best right now. I mean,
he's the greatest of all time.
Do what?
He's the greatest of all time. He already passed.
You think he passed Richard Pryor? You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a conversation. I think that's a conversation for another day. But man, that's pretty.
And even this solidified that for me even more so, because he was real enough to say, in a moment like this, this ain't really a time for me to be up here skinning and grinning. You know, it's not a skinning and grinning time. So it was more of a very serious show. But even that told me a lot about who he is, and that really revealed even more greatness than maybe we even knew. So I just for me, he's already the GOAT, and you know, Rich is right there though.
Right. And one of the things, just to kind of cap this off, is when he was going back and saying about, hey, I'm gonna let the streets handle this. They'll speak. They don't need me, type of thing. Because, you know, I thought that was pressure, but I go back to kind of think of what Captain Jack, and what I mean by Captain Jack, Steven Jackson, you all, NBA player for I think 16, 17 years, awesome podcast, All the Smoke, and he was basically saying in a post on IG early this week, basically saying that, look, we don't need basketball right now. He says, I love basketball, but he says there's too much stuff going on right now, and all basketball will do right now is be a distraction from the task at hand, because then everybody's going to be talking about the playoffs and the finals and taking their eye off the ball. And so I salute him for that, even though, you know, I love hoop, but like I said, there's certain things he said. This is bigger than basketball. This is bigger than sports, and
Right.
so we have to keep our eye on the prize and the task at hand. And
Right.
basically, just what and echoing basically just what Dave said in his special. So,
Right.
um,
Right.
I mean, that's some serious stuff, man. That's some serious stuff. So, but yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, like I said, make sure you go check it out. Dave Chappelle, 8 minutes, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. You will not be disappointed. For real, for
Yeah.
real.